Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas, and this is a very special segment with this week with Padma Shri recipient Dr. Sudhir Parikh, and we begin by greeting on the day when we are recording is Dussehra. So, Dr. Sir, greetings on Dussehra.
Namaskar everyone.
Looking at the world and when we recollect how Ramji formed his force and killed Ravana, the take-home message from this Ram Leela, which is given every year, how do you see that? And as I ask you that, I also mentioned that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's participation in Dussehra Mela every year, and this year he came up with his own version of message on Dussehra. What would be your version?
Well, I think my version is that good always wins over the evil, and doesn't matter sometime a good or truth people do not accept right away, but eventually it wins the event. Situation. So always be good to others, good to yourself, and always be truthful. And honest. And if you do that, you are always a winner in the life.
Wonderful. So this year, Dr. Sahib, in the Ram Leela with the burning of Ravana's effigy, there was one additional effigy where they said these are the people who exploit and ill-treat women. So these are those demons. So some social message there.
Right.
And staying with this, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also talked about India's clarity in terms of following the Maryada Purushottam Ram as well as working to protect its borders. So defense-wise, about India's preparedness in the context of many people are looking at some impending danger that India may have from border, considering what is happening between Israel, etc. So how do you see India's defense preparedness under Prime Minister Modi so far?
I'm sure in last 10 years our army, our armaments are updated very state of the art, and our fighter jets are state of the art, up to the par with the other countries, and I'm sure that our defense forces are well equipped and always ready to face the challenge. And I'm sure there will be a challenge, particularly from the China, because as you know that China is now claiming Arunachal as a part of the China, and that's not good sign, and we with all costs we must defend that, and we must push them back, because Arunachal is an integral part of the India.
Staying with India for some time in terms of the recent controversy related to parliamentarian Mahua Moitra and her giving away the password of her email to another industrialist, and based in Dubai, he was filing questions on her behalf, is what he has accepted with an affidavit also. How do you see this whole, call it controversy episode?
Well, I'm not. I myself personally not aware of this whole story, so I cannot comment really either way. But all this thing has to be investigated. Bottom line is by right agencies, and come to some kind of evidence and come to some kind of conclusion. And if that MP, Member of Parliament, is guilty of wrongdoing, she should be get punished. And if not, then whole story ends.
Yeah. So let me just fill in here. It is said that this industrialist said she wanted to tarnish image of Prime Minister Modi, and then he advised her that by connecting Adani to Modi ji and then at least speaking about him, so he was feeding her with information, and he benefits from the information that she was asking in the parliament. So that is how this whole thing, and they said that he also gave her some expensive gifts. And there is another story, one of her ex-lover, and there is a tussle bit about the claiming of a dog that she had. So this is going round and round, and a lot of people are talking about it in India and right now. And she's MP from TMC. But TMC is also not speaking for her. So it will be interesting to see how it works out.
Yeah, I mean, let's see.
And as you were mentioning, so just let me add last thing. So this is given to the Ethics Committee of Parliament for
to investigate. Yeah, I think it should get investigated, because all the member of Parliament should be has to be in good ethics. They should follow the standard of the ethics, and should not be any question, or should not behave any controversial way.
Okay. So, Dr. in this case as well as in many cases, when ED acts against somebody, they say that because they were speaking and questioning Prime Minister, so they are using these agencies to work against them. How do you see this logic? And this you must have heard coming again and again. This is coming again from Moitra also.
Well, this ED business, I mean, of course, ED's role is to find out who is doing the wrong business, who is doing money laundering, who is doing the kind of corruption, and all those things. It is kind of assignment and rules. So ED has all right to investigate anyone, and they should investigate everybody very fairly and squarely, and that's why ED is meant for. So I don't think one should kind of complain about investigative agencies. We should respect their investigative procedures and their conclusion.
So if everybody was going to pay attention to what you are saying, then there would be no problem. So I think you should get another important peace prize, because the approach with which you look at the world, if part of it was in the heart of Canadian Prime Minister, he would not have raised the kind of issue which is now creating more storms. So right now, after India asked 41 diplomats from Canada to go back
from India.
Yeah. How do you see this developing?
Well, I think this international controversy is kind of unfortunate. According to India, according to us, our country, we categorically say that we have nothing to do with that killing of the Mr. Nazar or somebody.
Yeah. Hardeep Singh Nijjar.
Yeah, and so that's our part of the story. But what Prime Minister of Canada is saying that no, we have enough credible information where the government of India indirectly was part of the involvement. So we don't know who is right, who is wrong, right? But I mean, obviously, in the first place, we have to believe our own government, and we trust our government that what our government is saying is correct, unless it's proven otherwise. And so let's see. I think Prime Minister of Canada is kind of backing off from this controversy, or making little low profile now. So hopefully, because even USA was supporting in the beginning, USA and UK, to Prime Minister of Canada, because this, according to Canada and Canadian Prime Minister, this information was given by Five Eyes, means the one like USA or UK intelligence agencies. So we don't know. I mean, we are the only, what we know is what we read and we hear from on TV. So if it is so, then we don't know. So again, rather than accusing each other, I think somebody has to investigate, or somebody has to show the evidence.
No, this somebody is interesting space. So Canada says that India should support them in the investigation. India says you give us some evidence, and
Right.
that foreign minister whom you met here at Washington DC also said is there any credible evidence? Then show us, then we'll investigate. And I believe Canada has not provided any
Right.
evidence of that kind. So when 41 diplomats were asked to leave from India, Canada said this is against Vienna Convention. India said no, there is a parity of diplomats. So the number, so this is in accordance with Vienna Convention. So things are heating up still, though we thought that they will slow down. Where is the end in sight if you just hypothetically think?
I think now probably it became kind of a point of kind of prestige issue for Prime Minister of Canada, because being a Prime Minister, he doesn't want to back off right away. And India doesn't want to back off either, because India knows that they have nothing to do with it. So this is kind of stalemate. And this 41 diplomats, India has asked them to leave, because I think there is a rule there that depending upon some kind of population or something, there should not be more than X number of diplomats. And that's why I think India is asking them to leave. Because there is a disproportionately larger number of diplomats, Canadian diplomats in India.
Yeah. So while Canada objected, India also said that some of these diplomats were interfering in India's internal affairs. And there is another angle, Dr. Parikh, which is India is also going to submit its dossiers to Financial Action Force, Financial Action Force, something FATF, task force, which they also raised against Pakistan and saying that Canadian government is supporting terror activities, so that needs to be investigated, and it would again put Canada to shame. So this is a new India that's emerging.
Yeah, I agree, and I think this kind of thing, only way to resolve is some third party like USA or UK get involved and resolve the whole problem. Because we don't know, we are also confused, because we are listening to both sides of the story, and we don't know. I mean, of course, we want to believe our own government.
No, I'll just interrupt you here, because India has provided dossiers, and we have seen again and again many evidence that there are potentially Khalistani, pro-Khalistani activities happening from the land of Canada. So that actually India is on the correct ground, looks like.
No, that is true. I agree with you that India's story is more believable than the Canadian story, and as a foreign minister said that Khalistan, I mean, nobody gives importance to Khalistan movement or fight in Punjab even. So it's kind of irrelevant or insignificant.
Absolutely. So somehow we focus on Canada and we have few minutes, but I would seek your opinion on what started on 7th October by attack of Hamas on Israel. How do you see the end game here? Because a lot of countries are getting involved.
I think what happened on October 7th is a real terrorist attack on Israel. But unfortunately and surprisingly that Israel got caught into this thing, because Israel was known, his reputation is known for excellent security and excellent intelligence, and somehow they goofed it. And not only they goofed it, even USA goofed it, because USA and Israel intelligence, they work together. But whatever happened, whatever Hamas did, it is unacceptable and is condemnable, and should be respond to it. And therefore, what USA is saying to Israel that you have all right to defend, and you have all right to defend your sovereignty, and all right to fight for terrorist activities. But at the same time, keep in mind that in larger scale, the other innocent people should not suffer. And I think all this visit of Biden and everyday call of Biden to Netanyahu and visit of Sunak, Prime Minister Sunak to Israel, and today Prime Minister of France to the Israel to slow it down, the ground attack or ground attack on the Gaza, because it is very difficult to fight urban warfare. Lot of innocent people can die, and I think that gives on the long run Israel a bad reputation. And number two, I think all this thing has to be solved is underlying problem, which is, I think the best problem is President Clinton and President George Bush Sr. and other people, and even President Carter did a initiative where they all wanted to have a two-state solution, and therefore both party can stay in harmony and peace.
So let us hope things move in the right direction, and as we conclude, your parting words for our viewers.
Well, dear friends, today is a Dasara. As you know, the Vijayadashmi is a day where there is always good wins over the evil, and therefore I think we all should celebrate and enjoy the Dasara or Vijayadashmi, and always try to be a good to others, good to yourself, as well as be truthful and honest. Then of course you will always win in the life. And after saying that, I would like to say, God bless America, God bless India, God bless Indian American, and we'll see you next week. Till then, I love you all. Thank you.